Hi yogis, welcome to Yoga Sculpt. This will be an entire body workout. We're going to hit most major muscle groups. For this practice you'll need a long resistance band. Mine's about 7 feet. I have a link for these bands on my About page on this channel. And I'm also working with the stronger resistance today, so you might hear me huffing and puffing a little more with this practice. And you're also going to need a yoga block. We'll be using it towards the end of each sequence. There'll be one long sequence on each leg. So one block and one band, and let's get started. So we're going to place the center of the band at the top of the mat, approximately where your hands will go for a downward facing dog. And we'll just start on all fours here. So you'll place your hands on the band and make sure that the heel of your hands are just off of the band, because I don't want the thumbs to get wrapped up in the band. And in a moment you'll see what I'm talking about as we get to that. So we'll just start with the cat-cow. So have the hands under your shoulders. Let's inhale and arch through the spine. Exhale and round. And let's do this about 3 or 4 more times. Arching on the inhale, shoulder blades down the back. Rounding on the exhale, pulling the navel up and away from the floor. Look towards your legs. And a couple more times. Inhale to arch, just getting some lubrication throughout the spine. Push all the air out as you round, and one more. Inhale, shoulder blades move down the back, look forward. And exhale, pull the navel up and back, tailbone down, look towards the legs. Okay, and then let's come back to all fours. So we'll warm up through the wrists. So let's turn the fingers back towards your knees. So your inner wrists are facing forward. Check that your hands are symmetrically placed under you. And then shift your weight back just a bit until you start to feel that stretch through the inner forearms and the inner wrists. And then we'll come back forward. Okay, now place the hands back on the band. Remember, just the heel of the hands are off so the thumbs can be free. And let's take the hips up and back into downward dog. Press your heels down. Even if they don't come all the way down, that's fine. Spread your fingers. And an extra bonus of using the band here under your hands is you're less likely to slip on your yoga mat. It's a little trick, by the way. If you do have kind of slippery hands, try using with this band under your hands when you do yoga. Even if you're not using the band. So let's lift the heels, bend the knees, lower the knees down, and curl your toes under and stick your hips back. So almost like coming into a child's pose, but we have the toes curled under, and your arms are reaching forward long. And then push into the balls of your feet, lift your knees, hover them, lift your hips, come back into downward facing dog. Push your entire palms down into the earth and the 4 corners of your feet down. Let's shift forward to plank pose. Inhale. Exhale to downward dog. We're not really doing anything with the band yet. We're just still warming up. Shift forward to plank pose. Inhale. Hover the thighs. Exhale back to downward facing dog. And one more time. Inhale forward to plank, shoulders over the wrists. And exhale to down dog. Okay, now we're going to use the band. So take your feet a little bit wider on the mat, and you're going to hold the band in your right hand and make sure the thumb is under the band so it doesn't get wrapped up in the band. Hold the band in your left hand, and you might need to widen the distance between the hands. I'll show you in just a second what I mean. So you're going to reach the left hand towards the right shin. So you might need to loosen up a little bit so you can pull the left hand towards the right shin, and then come back forward to plank pose. Reach the arm forward, the left arm forward, pick the right leg up. This is an awkward plank. Place the right foot down, and again, left hand crosses under you over towards the right shin. Inhale, come forward. Take the left arm forward. Pick up the right leg, awkward plank pose. One more time, place the right foot down. Left hand crosses under you towards the right shin. Shift forward to plank with the left arm forward and pick up the right leg. Place the left hand down, place the right foot down. Lower all the way down to your belly. Have the band right underneath your chest. And you're going to hold on to the band. Reach the arms forward, lift up. Exhale, pull the elbows, stay lifted through the heart, pull the elbows back towards you. Inhale, reach the arms forward, keep pressing the feet down. Exhale, pull the elbows back and in towards you. Inhale, tailbone lengthens down, reach forward through the arms. Pull out on the band as the elbows come back in. And last time, reach forward. There should be a lot of resistance in the band. Exhale, pull back in. Hands to the floor. Push up to all fours, inhale. And adjust the band so that it is flat. And we're going to be coming into a lunge in just a moment. So just know that you'll be placing your right foot on the band. So if that gives you any indication of where the band should be, it should be about 6 to 10 inches below the front edge of your mat. Come back into downward dog with your hands on the band. Take a breath here. Breathing through the nose. And now let's inhale the right leg up into the air behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, we'll step the right foot forward onto the band. Have the ball of the foot on the band and hold on to one end of each band in your hands and come on up. Okay, so the right hand is going to come onto the thigh and the left arm is going to pull out as you turn the chest up and lower the left arm down. Pull out to the left as you turn up. Lower down. There's just a soft bend in the elbow. There's a little bit of an open twist here. And lower down. Pull out to the side as you turn and lower down. And now we're going to combine that with some work in the right arm. So you're still holding the band on the right side. You're going to lift the right arm up as you tap the back knee down and come up. And lower your back heel. Take the left arm out and up as you twist. Come down, lift the back heel. Reach the right arm up, tap the back knee down, lower the back heel, pull the left arm out, turn. One more to each side. Just lunging forward, back heel is up, lift the right arm, tap the left knee, come up, lower the back heel, open up as you turn. All right, come back through center. So just come to a lunge facing forward. Your back heel is lifted. You're holding both ends of the band in your hands. And then let's come into a warrior three. And we're going to choke up a lot. So hold down closer, hold the band closer down towards your foot. Still stepping on the band with your right foot. And then pull the band up until the hands come onto your hips. And there should be a lot of resistance in your warrior three. Now we're going to bend your standing leg and straighten it. So I want the band to be tight enough that you're really feeling a lot of extra work in your right quads and, in the glutes. Just gaze straight down at the floor below you. Lengthen out through your back leg. Let's do a couple of more. And last one. Come on up. All right. Now, we're going to step both feet on the band. I'll face you for this one just a little bit. Okay, so we're going to do some bicep curls. So the balls of both feet are on the band. Bend your knees, come into a chair pose. Wrap the band around your hands and make sure that it's tight enough. Give it a little test drive as you do bicep curl. Your wrist should not be sickling downward. So if my hands are pointed down but my wrists are pointed forward, that's sickling. So we want to keep the wrists and the hands in the same alignment. And you keep the elbows in and you pull the hands up towards you. So I'm going to loosen it up just a little bit so I'm not going to irritate my wrists at all. So your weight is in your heels. Your tailbone is pointed down. Your lower belly is lifting up. You're keeping the elbows in close towards you. Don't pull the elbows back behind you. And I'm really working to keep my lower belly lifted here so I don't go into a back bend as I do my bicep curls. And let's do one more. All right, and then we'll straighten the legs, give a little bit of a rest here. And now we're going to make a little backpack out of the band so we can do some more squats. So feet are a little wider than hips distance. I'm just going to hold on to both ends of the band, bend the knees, and then the band's going to come behind me and then up and over my shoulders. I'm just making sure that I'm not going to pull my hair. All right, and then let's bend the knees and halfway straighten. Bend the knees down into chair pose, halfway come up. Keep the weight in your heels. Press up. Keep going. Exhale as you come up. Inhale as you come down. The exhale is where we do more of the work. Inhale down. Exhale up. Is the weight even in both of your feet? Are you pulling back and up on your low belly? Are you keeping the weight in your heels? Let's do one more. And then we are going to just lift up your hands so you can release the band from behind your back. Come back to standing. Okay. And I'm going to step the left foot off of the band. We're going to cross the band once over the right foot and step the left foot over and bring the right foot back to a lunge. Okay, so right leg back, left foot is forward. The band is crossed and you're holding each end of the band in your hands. Now let's lean forward, reach the right arm forward, left arm back, bring them both back in. Both arms out to the side, bring them back in. Left arm forward, right arm back, back in, out to the side. And then again, right arm forward, left arm back, back down, both arms out to the side, back down, left arm forward, right arm back, and down, out to the side, and down. One more time. Right forward, left back, down, out to the side, down, left back, left forward, right back, and down, out to the side, and down. Bring your right knee down. Place your hands down just so you can stabilize the band, and we'll bring both knees down to the ground. Now you're going to place each end of the band under your hands and pin them down. We're going to be doing the work here with the right leg. So you still have the right foot in the band. From all fours, keep the ankles flexed and push the right foot straight, the leg straight back as you push the foot into the band. Bring the knee back in. Now try not to lift up your right hip. So send the right leg back, but can you keep the hips level? It's going to require a little bit more refinement of the core work. So keep the hips level as the right leg comes back and bring it back in. Now come into downward facing dog and try to not lose the band around your right foot. If that means that you're keeping that ankle a little more flexed or pointed than normal, that's fine. Really pin the bands, each end of the band down with your hands. We're going to lift the right leg as high as you can. I've got a really tough band here, so I'm not going too high. And then we're going to shift forward to plank as you take your straight right leg out to the right. And then take your right leg back behind you, three-legged dog, and lower the knee down to the floor. Nice and slow. Now take the right leg behind you, the left knee is down. Right leg behind you, right or left arm forward. So right leg, left arm, and lower the knee and the hand. Same thing. Right leg back, left arm forward, lower down, and again, lower down, and one more. Leg back, left arm forward, and lower down. Okay, we're going to come down onto the right hip. So we still have the right foot in the band. And you're going to grab one of your blocks. Hold on to the end of both ends of the band in your right hand. You're going to pin the bands down, both ends of the band down with the block. You can bend your top knee, placing the foot on the floor behind you. So this block here is just going to give us some more resistance for some inner thigh work. Push down with your left hand onto the block and lift and lower your bottom leg. Now your hand has got to do a lot of work pushing down so the block doesn't come right up with the band. You're keeping your bottom leg straight, the ankle is flexed, the toes and the knee are turned out, and you're just lifting and lowering this bottom leg. Now, lift the leg, bend the knee and press out. You might want to angle the block in towards you a little bit so it doesn't get in the way of your leg. So you're keeping the foot lifted the whole time, keeping a lot of resistance on that band, bending and straightening. You're pushing out into the band. This is a little more quad work, but some inner thigh as well. And then you're going to keep the leg straight and you're just going to lift and lower again, just like we did. 3, 4, and now circle the leg. Keep it straight and circle it any direction, doesn't matter. Foot is still flexed. You're still pushing down on the block to maximize the resistance. Now circle your leg the other way. Getting some work on the left side of the upper back here too by pushing your hand down on this block. Lower that down. Still have the band around the right foot. Let's come on to the back. We're going to really just exhaust all of the poses on the right side before we do the left side. So let's make sure we still have that cross or that loop, the cross in the band. It's crossed at the foot. And you can take your left leg down on the ground. And now with your arms out wide, try to pin your knuckles down to the floor. So you're holding onto the band on each side, pinning the back of your hands down. Push the left leg down, and now let's make big wide circles with the right leg. Slow, controlled, wide circles. And the more your right leg comes down towards the ground, the more core work you're going to get. So these are very slow and controlled to get more core work going on. And the foot just wants to snap back up because of the band, and we're not letting it. We're making everything move slowly. The wider your circles are, the more you're going to feel this, and it's really small, precise sensations in the lower abdomen, the muscles of the lower abdomen. You can kind of feel the work moving from left to right side of the lower abdomen. Now keep the right leg up. You can bend your elbows and choke up a little bit. Place the left foot on the floor. And you want to get a lot of resistance going. We're going to lift the hips up, and your right leg is going to come straight up and lower down. Now I can tell that I really did not feel that much resistance, so I'm going to wrap the loop around my hands one more time, pin the elbows down, and try it again. And that's what I wanted right there. Sometimes just wrapping the loop around your hands once is just enough. You might even want to wrap the loop around the band twice around your hands. So there should be a lot of stretchy going on the band. You're pushing straight down into the left foot, lifting up the hips and lowering them back down. And last one. All right, good. So we can remove the band, lower the foot, and you'll come back up to downward facing dog. So to position for downward dog, we'll replace the band. The center of the band is in the center of your mat, and the band goes right under where your hands will go, and we'll come into downward dog. And you want your heels of your hands just off of the band so that your thumbs won't get caught up in it. Curl your toes under, downward facing dog. Push into your hands. Try to find some space in the shoulders. Send your hips away from your wrists. Let's lower the knees down to the ground. We'll just come into a stretch before we go into that full sequence on the other side. So hold the band, reach up tall, pull the band back behind you, send your heart forward and then up. Reach back up through the arms and lower the band down as you sit back on your heels. Now lift your hips, reach up through the band, pull back, bend your elbows, pull the band way back behind you. Reach up again. Take your legs to your knees together, side bend over to the right, pull out on the band. Rise up, inhale. Side bend over to the left. Rise back up and lower the band as you sit back on your heels. Okay, so now we'll do that whole sequence on the other side. So reposition the band on the ground, come into your downward facing dog. You're going to hold on to the band with your right hand. Just make sure that your left thumb ends up underneath the band. Hold it in your right hand. Give yourself just enough room so that when you pull the band over towards your left shin, you'll be able to touch hand to shin. So let's reach the right arm under to get a little twist going, hand to left shin, and then take the arm back, reach the arm forward, take your left leg back. A little more wobbly this side. And then place the hand and the foot down, downward dog. Reach the band back towards the left shin, the right hand, left shin. And then shift forward to plank. Right arm forward, lift up the left leg, lower the foot. Take it back to your downward dog twist, last one. And then shift forward back into their plank pose. Right arm forward, left leg lifts. Lower the hand, lower the foot. Let's come all the way down to the belly, back into our Cobra Poses. So holding on to the band, band is right underneath your chest. Keep the feet down. Let's reach the band the arms forward, pull out on the band, and then bend your elbows, pull the band under your chest and lift a little higher. Reach forward, exhale, arms are long. Inhale, pull back on the band, lift the heart up away from the band. Exhale, reach, pull out on the band. Inhale, pull in. And last time, exhale, reach. Inhale, pull in and out. Lower the hands down. Come on up to all fours. Reposition the band so that it's flat, because next we're going to have our left foot stepping on the band. Come into downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up into the air. Step the left foot forward onto the band. You're going to hold both ends of the band, one in each hand. Keep the left hand on the knee for now. And take the right arm out and up. Twist up towards the right arm. Lower it down. And again, lift up and twist. Keep pushing the left foot down onto the band. And two more. Lift up and lower down. And last one. You have a soft bend in the elbow so we don't strain the elbow joint. Lower it down. Now we're going to do our little sequence here. So left arm lifts as you bend the right knee down. Take it down. Lower the right heel. Lift the right arm up, twist. Lower it down. Lift the back heel. Lift the left arm, lower the back knee. Come back up. Lower the back heel. Lift the right arm, turn up and down. One more each side. Lift the back heel. Lift up through the left arm, lower the right knee, come up. Lower the back heel. And then lift up high through the right arm, turn up and lower it down. Okay, come to a lunge. And now we're going to come into our warrior three. I'm going to scoot back just a little bit so I don't end up hitting the wall with my head. And then warrior three, I'm going to wrap the band around my hand so I get a shorter band, a lot of resistance. Pull the band up until my hands are at my hips. And I can already tell I've got a lot more resistance in the band here because my leg is already working and it's still straight. Now we're going to bend your left knee and straighten it. Keep weight in the heel. Bend it, straighten it. And we're not straightening it all the way to the point where you're locking the knee out. Should still have a little micro bend in the knee as you straighten it. You're still reaching out long through your right leg. And let's do a couple more. 2 and 1. Come on up. Oh, let's unwind the band from our hands. All right, we're going to step both feet onto the band for our chair pose. I'll turn for this one. Okay, first one is the bicep curls. So feet are just right under this hip sockets. And you're going to wrap the band around your hands. Make sure you got plenty of resistance here so you feel the bicep curls once we start moving here. And just make sure that your hands are moving in line with your forearms, that your wrists aren't sickling. I may have overdone it with the resistance in the band for that one because I could tell my wrists really wanted to go the opposite direction. All right, so wrist integrity here. Bend the knees, chair pose, weight is in the heels. Keep the elbows in close. Pull up through the forearms, lower down. Now use a little bit of lower abdominal muscles here, and this is going to protect the low back. So your lower abdomen is pulling back and lifting up, and your tailbone is lengthening down. Now try to keep your elbows from moving behind you. They stay right in by the waistline. And let's mix it up just for this last one. Take your arms out wide into like a W shape and down. And then arms forward and down. Out to the side and down. Forward and down. Are you still in your chair pose? Out to the side and down. Forward and down. One more. Out wide. Down. Forward. And down. All right. I know it's a lot of leg work. We will stretch it out, I promise. I'm just making sure that my band is even. It is not. So I'm going to step more in the center of the band, and we're going to put our backpack on. So back into chair pose, and then the band comes up and over your shoulders. So you're holding it just in front of your shoulders, and then bend the knees and part way up. Bend the knees, weight in the heel, come only part way up. So we're not really straightening the legs all the way. And keep going. Keep that integrity in the lower abdominal muscles. It's like you're trying to lift your lower abdomen up towards your navel. Keeps the low back long. Is the weight still in the heels? So if you look down, you should still be able to see your toenails, your big toes. But I want you to actually look forward. So it was really more just a peek, that you could still see your toenails. And then let's bend again. Take the backpack off and straighten your legs. Okay, now the left foot stays on the center of the band. We're going to cross it once and step the right foot up and over. And then your left leg comes back to a lunge. Okay, lean forward. Left arm forward, right arm back, and both arms down. Both arms out to the side and down. Right arm forward, left arm back. Down, out to the side and down. And then the left forward, right back. Down, you're hinged forward from the spine, out to the side and down. Right forward, left back. Down, to the side. Down. One more. Left forward, right back. Down. Side. Down. Right forward, left back. Down. And side. And down. Let's lower the left knee. And lower your hands and then bring your right knee down so you're in all fours. You're pinning the ends of the band down with your hands. You still have the band around the left foot. And let's begin just with our simple bird dog. So left leg reaches back behind you, push into the band with the foot, and lower the knee back down. Straighten back. Now slowly lower the knee down. Don't just let the band snap your knee back in. Straighten and lower down, and try not to lift the left hip higher than the right hip. So it's a little more core control, and down. Okay. And then downward dog, still pinning the ends of the band with your hands. Just lift your hips up, and you might need to keep your left knee a little bent and that foot more pointed so you don't lose the band. We'll come right into three-legged dog. So let's lift the left leg up behind you, and then shift forward to plank and take your left leg out to the side. And then take it back up behind you, three-legged dog, and lower both of your knees down. Take your left leg back and your right arm forward and lower it down. And do that again. Left leg back, right arm forward. Lower that down. Two more. This is our traditional bird dog using the band. And the last one. And down. And then one more time with that three-legged dog series. So downward dog. Try to flatten both of your hands. You're pinning the bands down with your hands. Reach your left leg back. Shift your shoulders forward and take your left leg out to the side. Oh, take your leg back and up. That one's tough. And lower back down all the way. Okay, this time we're going to come down onto the left hip. So I'm going to turn myself around so that I will not have my back to you for this one, and I'll need my block. So grab your block, come down onto your left hip, and have your right foot on the floor just behind you. And you're going to use your block. Bam, pin that band down with the block and really push out. Get a lot of resistance going on the band first, and then pin it down. Just make it harder. All right, so you got to really push the right hand down onto the block. Keep your your bottom leg straight. Just lift and lower it. So it takes some work to have the hand pushing the block down, so the band doesn't sneak out from underneath the block. And you try not to just collapse into this left shoulder here. So you're kind of pushing down on your forearm and lifting up out of the shoulder. And then lift the leg, angle the block in towards you a little bit, and then bend the knee and straighten. Get a lot more resistance going in the band for this one. You're going to feel this a little more in the quads, but also in the inner thigh. So the leg is still hovering, bending and straightening. Let's go for 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift and lower. Oh boy. 4, 3, 2, 1, bend and straighten. 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep the leg straight. Circle it. Still pushing your right hand down on the block so you get a lot more resistance. Circle your leg the other way. 4, 3, 2, 1. Down onto your back. Okay. So you have your left leg up in the air, you have the band crossed at your foot, and your right leg is just down on the ground. You hold on to the ends of the band. Depending on the length of your band, if it's less than 7 feet, your arms will probably be hovering, so you've just got to keep a lot of resistance in the band. If you've got a 7-foot band, you might be able to press your arms all the way down to the floor in the back of your hands. And then just start to circle your left leg. Nice wide circles. We will be reversing directions, so it doesn't matter which way you circle the leg. And the more your leg comes down towards the ground, the more core work you're going to get. And this is working the back as well, because you're doing a lot of work just keeping the back of your hands on the ground. Go one more time around. And then circle the other way. And 3. And 2. And 1. Okay. Bridge, and then we'll stretch. So, right foot on the floor with the knee bent. I'm going to wrap the band around my hands and get a lot of resistance going here. Because we're working the glutes, and it's a large muscle group. So, we got to get a lot more resistance going here. So, pin your elbows down, push down into the right foot, lift your hips, pushing the foot up into the band, lower down, up and down. The more resistance you can get going in the band, the better. You'll feel this more in the right glutes as you lift the hips up and you're getting that resistance. And let's go 4, 3, 2, 1. And there you go. Let's release the band. So we did a lot of quads, inner thighs, and glutes. We did a little bit of everything in the legs. We did a lot of back. We did deltoids, biceps. We hit a lot of major muscle groups. So let's just pull the legs in towards us here on our back. Before we get too much stretchiness going in the lower body, I do want to get some lengthening in the upper body before I forget. So let's just rock ourselves up. Place the hands on the floor just behind you with the fingers spread. And your fingers are slightly pointed forward, maybe a little bit out to the side. Push your hands down into the ground and then lift up through the heart. Keep the elbows bent, pin them back. Bring your hips forward a little bit. Bend your elbows back, lift up through the heart. It's going to stretch through the front of the shoulders. Keep pushing down through the base of your thumbs. And then roll yourself back down again. Cross the right arm over you and pin the forearm down with your left wrist. So stretching through the deltoid on the right side. And then other side. Just take the left arm directly over your body. Pin the forearm down with your right wrist. And then release that left arm. Let's cross the right ankle over the left knee. Bring the left thigh towards you. Interlace your fingers behind the thigh. You're using your right elbow to press the right knee away from you. Keep the right ankle flexed. So pull the toes back towards the kneecap. And then let's release that side and take it to the other side. Left ankle over right thigh. Bring the right thigh towards you. Interlace the fingers. And use the left elbow to press the left knee away. Ankle is flexed. Left ankle. Even spread the toes. So this action of the foot and ankle by flexing the ankle, spreading the toes is creating some structure for the lower leg, and it'll protect the knee. And then let's release that side. So roll over onto one hip, it doesn't matter which one, and take the top foot in your hand and pull that leg back behind you as the heel pulls in towards the glute. Just cradling your head with your bottom arm. And try to point the kneecap of that top leg, the leg you're stretching, point the kneecap away from you. And then let's roll onto the other hip, same thing. Hold onto the foot of your top leg and then pull the heel in close towards the hip. The thigh bone itself is also moving back a bit, and the knee is pointing away from you, like you're trying to get the femur bone longer. And then let's roll back onto the back. So 2 more things. Arms out to the side, knees are together, feet are lifted. Let's shift the hips over to the left just an inch or so, and then lower your legs to the right. And then your knees come back up, feet to the floor. Take your hips over to the right, feet back up, and your knees over to the left. You can look out to the right if you like, or you can look up, whichever feels nicer for you. Move your top hip away from you. And then knees come back up. Okay, last thing, this will be like our short sort of a shavasana. We're going to instead come into reclined butterfly pose. Since we did a lot of work for the inner thighs, we'll just be here for a moment as we let the body settle. So your soles of your feet together and your knees are wide. And you can do this with one block underneath each thigh if there's just if there's some tension in the inner groin, inner hip area. You can support your legs with blocks right at the outer thigh. You can bring the hands onto your low belly and close your eyes here. Let your shoulders be relaxed. And then we'll just find this few moments here, maybe about 10 breaths or so we'll be here. Just letting the body soften. Letting the breath fill out. Breathe through the nose. And see if you can continuously find areas in your body to relax. So keep scanning up and down the body slowly and check for tension or gripping. And even check the mind. See if it's wandering around or racing around. Can you bring it back to your body? Back to the present moment. And let's do 2 more breaths here. Just letting the body sink down to the earth. Let's bring the hands outside of the thighs. Draw your legs together. Roll on over to one side. And lift yourself on up to seated. Hands come together at the heart. Close your eyes and bow your head. And lift your gaze. Namaste.